Beautiful.
And a league gets real.
God, I feel like we just suck. We're stupid. We're stupid.
And another Express Pass is up for grabs.
We can do it. Rob? I think we can beat Rob.
New CBS Tuesday.
You put on that uniform, you agree to protect the person next to you no matter what.
You Americans have the all-time best battle cries.
NCIS Sydney. New series premieres Tuesday, 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
I'm a very curious person. I wake up every morning asking, what's happening in the world? Why is this happening? And how do we answer that question?
Good evening, Chris Allen here with News 40 at 10 weather. And we've got a pretty quiet evening after a windy day and a very warm day full of record-breaking temperatures. Nothing showing up on the radar just yet, but overnight and very early tomorrow morning, we will begin to see some rain moving in. 83, the new record high for November 8th, breaking the old record of 82 set back in 2005 and in 2020. What about rain chances? I'll tell you all about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 10. I'm Morgan Hoover. We begin tonight with an ongoing issue in South Central Kentucky. There have been multiple reports of people stealing cars. News 40 reporter Noah Fairber spoke to the Warren County Sheriffs to find out more.
In South Central Kentucky, many communities are seeing an increase in car thefts. Warren County Sheriff Brett Hightower believes he's seen the reason why.
We have folks from outside this community that are coming in here. They're getting off of I-65, and they are finding some of our well-in neighborhoods where people feel very safe in those communities. They will come down from Nashville or Louisville. They will drive in. There will be 2 or 3 other people in these cars. They will get out in the neighborhood. They will just find cars that are unlocked, and within 30, 45 minutes, they've got anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 worth of merchandise.
These criminals will then take the cars and head back north.
We were able to identify the fact that 2 of the last cars that were stolen here were picked up on some camera video footage through the flock system, and they were last seen up around Louisville area. So, this is something that we just ask people, whatever you do, leave your cars locked, and also don't leave your keys in them or firearms or other valuables like this.
And up in Barron County, the Glasgow Police Department is seeing a similar trend.
Over the last month or so, we've had a bunch of car thefts. We've had a total of, I think it's 5 vehicles and maybe 1 motorcycle. And a couple of those vehicles also has had the keys left inside them, which makes it easier obviously for someone to steal.
That's why Major Flat says no matter where you are, make sure to protect your valuables.
Park in a well-lit area. Also park, if you got some video cameras that may capture, your vehicle, that type of thing. Do not leave any personal items or anything of value, obviously laying in the front seat or where someone may be able to look in your car and just say, hey, I'm going to break in this vehicle and take that.
In South Central Kentucky, because local matters, Noah Fairber, WNKY News 40.
And in more crime news, 2 juveniles are charged with robbery after police say a man was held at gunpoint while inside his car. The Russellville Police Department says this happened at Hampton Park on Saturday afternoon. During the investigation, authorities learned the juveniles had ridden in the vehicle with the victim before the robbery. Both boys were later found and detained. They both are charged with first-degree robbery. The investigation is still ongoing. In more local news now, many people in Bowling Green are still working to restore their homes and businesses after the December tornadoes tore through the area nearly 2 years ago. But from the ruins, one neighborhood has been able to discover beauty. News 40 reporter Carlisle Coppins tells us more.
Many who experienced the devastating December tornadoes are recovering and rebuilding. Some areas weren't able to rebuild. And one homeowner had a tree that caused a lot of trouble, but thanks to a few family friends, the tree is becoming a work of art.
The tree itself made a huge mess in the front yard, and Joseph and his mother were over at my house helping me do stuff in the yard, and he was looking at the tree stump, and he said, you ought to turn that into like a fairy house or something. And I said, hey, you want to go for it, have at it.
The homeowner couldn't do it all by herself. She needed an artist with a different perspective.
It was like a huge eyesore. It looked like a tornado had went through. So now it's kind of something people come up and look at, and it's not really reminding them of what happened. It's just something cool and magical now.
The magic that is being created in this front yard is more than just something to look at. It's giving people a reason to smile.
They drive by, slow down, stop, point, smile. They wave at me if they see me out on the front porch. And the people that walk by, they always look at it and smile. It always puts a smile on everybody's face that I see when I see them walking or driving by. It's very heartwarming.
This massive transformation is more than a work of art. It's one small piece of the community that's being placed back together in a creative way.
It's just a cool little idea to where, people get to use their imagination, get to have a little bit of magic in the neighborhood.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Carlisle Coppins, WNKY News 40.
All right, Carlisle. Well, it has been a topic of conversation for residents across Warren County today. Perhaps you noticed this barreling plume of smoke off in the distance earlier today. That smoke was a field on fire off of Upper Dixie Highway. Smiths Grove Police Chief Jason Franks says a piece of farm equipment caught on fire, leading to the field to catch on fire as well. Several fire trucks were on the scene to help put that fire out. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but Chris, today's dry conditions probably did not help much.
No, the dry weather, the amount of fuels, what we call fuels on the ground, which would be things like some leftover wheat fields or some dry brush, woods, or just even a tossed cigarette into any of those dry areas can spark those brush fires. And we still have winds coming out of the southwest at 10 to even 15 miles per hour. Even at this hour of the evening, the winds will begin to relax a little bit more this evening as we go through time. And then by tomorrow, we'll start to feel a little bit of a lighter wind and a better chance of rain. Increasing clouds tonight, rain moving in late toward morning, and an overnight low at 60. The rest of your 7-day forecast on the way. But right now, Patrick has a preview of sports.
All right, thanks, Chris. We have plenty coming up in sports tonight. One local athlete put pen to paper, inking his commitment to Ohio State for men's volleyball. Hear from Drew Hudson after making it official in just a few minutes. Plus, we preview WKU basketball and volleyball's matchups tomorrow night. That's all in sports. Morgan.
All right, Patrick, more local news now. Many people want to reduce their household waste, but it can be difficult to figure out how. News 40 reporter Tucker Covey has more on how you can do a trash audit and reduce or reuse unwanted food and plastic waste over time.
In day-to-day life, there are a number of things everyone can do to reduce waste. Extending the life of things like plastic containers or plastic bags can make a big impact over time.
Simple things like, using, reusing takeout containers, buying nice Tupperware that you can reuse and it's going to work well. Not buying plastic water bottle, single-use plastic water bottles when you can, just refill a water bottle.
Recycling doesn't work like a landfill. More is not better for the recycler. Therefore, not everything can be recycled, but many things can be reused, which reduces waste.
Some recycling is definitely necessary and important, and it's hard to imagine a place where we can kind of live without it, but we can do a lot to avoid the need to recycle.
Food waste can also be recycled and reused by composting. In fact, every part of a Thanksgiving meal can be composted, even the turkey. It is a great way to keep plants and the planet healthy.
If you have a garden or even house plants, if you make the product correctly, you can add it to your garden and house plants to make them healthier. Further, makes your soil healthy, helps to produce healthy plants. Those are the big benefits to homeowners.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
On health news now, parents, there are new reports out recently about the nutritional benefits of toddler formulas. Researchers find that they actually do not provide many health benefits for the vast majority of children. The manufacturers of these formulas claim that they bolster the child's immune system and improve brain development. We spoke with a doctor at the University of Kentucky who says these formulas, marketed under names like transition formulas, toddler formulas, or growing up milks, are often too good to be true. Now, not to be confused with medical or therapeutic formulas for medical conditions. Those are often prescribed by doctors. He also told us that none of these toddler formulas have been approved by the FDA.
By and large, they're not necessary for the vast majority of children. Some of them are all right to use, but again, since they're characterized by such wide variation in composition, with many undesirable components in many of them, it's hard to recommend them.
Dr. Fuchs also says the difference between a toddler and infant formula is the age it's designed for. Infant formula is aimed at children between 0 and 12 months old. Once a child reaches toddler age, doctors say it's important that they receive a nutritionally balanced diet that includes fortified foods. They say children who consume solid foods that provide sufficient nutrients shouldn't need supplemental formulas. And a warning from U.S. public health officials tonight about an alarming rise in a dangerous infection in babies. Congenital syphilis is potentially life-threatening to a child, but it's nearly always preventable if caught and treated in time. Tonight, what experts say needs to happen to curb the increasing number of cases. A dire rise in congenital syphilis. The U.S. saw a 30-year high in the number of reported cases in babies in 2022. That's according to new numbers from the CDC.
Congenital syphilis is caused when a mother suffering from syphilis passes the infection on to her growing baby.
More than 3,700 babies were born with syphilis in the U.S. in 2022. That's a 32% increase from the year before, and a tenfold rise since 2012. This infection can cause miscarriage, stillbirth, premature birth, low birth weight, even death shortly after birth. But congenital syphilis can be prevented, says Dr. Asma Chatta with Mayo Clinic.
Knowing a woman has syphilis is the first step towards treatment. It is an easily treated infection, but universal screening is essential.
Chatta says a simple blood test can screen for syphilis. It should be done early at the first prenatal doctor's visit, and some women should be tested twice.
In high-risk populations, we should probably be rescreening pregnant women again in the third trimester to make sure that the infection didn't occur later in pregnancy.
Some public health leaders believe budget cuts to state health departments and a shortage of the only drug approved to treat syphilis in pregnancy are undercutting the effort to curb the rising cases.
It's very important that regardless of their ability to be able to afford prenatal care or not, all women and their children, particularly the ones who are pregnant, are receiving universal access.
Now, for babies born with congenital syphilis, the infection can also cause different illnesses, including severe anemia, enlarged liver and spleen, jaundice, and brain and nerve problems as well. Well, moms, you may already know that the FDA has approved the first pill to treat postpartum depression. But what we're learning tonight is that it may be too expensive for those who need it. Zurzuvae was approved by the FDA in August to help the 1 in 8 women who suffer from severe depression after giving birth. The new drug is touted fast-acting, taking effect in as little as 3 days. But with a price tag of nearly $16,000 for a 14-day dose, women's healthcare advocates are concerned. The drug is expected to hit the market later this year, but it's not clear yet if insurance will cover the cost. Well, stay with us. Still to come on News 40 at 10. Republican presidential candidates square off tonight after the party saw major defeats at the polls last night. They break down the details in just a bit, but first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is back with a full look at our forecast. That's coming up next.
Name an animal the wife doesn't mind her husband calling her. Piggy. Don't do that.
Family Feud. Weeknights at 5 and 6:30.
Football Frenzy is back in South Central Kentucky. WNKY News 40 is your home
for high school football. The most schools, the most highlights, the most coverage. Catch Football Frenzy Friday nights at 10 on WNKY News 40.
At Abound Credit Union, we're for free checking and early paydays. We're for relaxing weekends and exciting days off, making memories and doing more. Because Abound is for free checking that gets you paid up to 2 days early. That's value for living.
The future starts with us, and our future depends on our health. At TJ Regional Health, they provide quality women's care for every chapter of life, from adolescence to pregnancy to menopause and beyond. Because every woman is unique, their providers believe strongly in personalized care.
We do this by listening, understanding, and treating you with compassion and respect. Plan for your healthy future with TJ Regional Health.
I'm Simon Modesto. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on News 40 Sunrise. Find out the inside scoop on WKU's upcoming homecoming parade. Plus, we'll continue to learn the history of previous elections throughout Kentucky in this week's Throwback Thursday. These stories and more on News 40 Sunrise.
As an employer trying to search for qualified candidates on a near constant basis, Bowling Green Works has been a wonderful resource for us.
You know, it's free. It doesn't cost anything for me to have an ad on the Bowling Green Works page.
Everybody that is coming to Bowling Green Works and submitting forms for employment are local or going to be local very soon.
If you haven't discovered Bowling Green Works in an environment where you have 2 open jobs for every individual, it's a place you definitely need to go.
I wake up every morning asking, what's happening in the world? Why is this happening? And how do we answer that question?
We're back with Weather Chief Chris Allen on what has been a warm Wednesday.
Very warm. We broke a record today.
Wow, I believe it.
Yeah, warmest temperature for this day set 83. That was our record high. 82 was the old record. So we broke that by 1 degree today, but starting tomorrow, it's going to get a little bit cooler around here. As we check the current conditions, 69 is the temperature with a south wind at 5, humidity at 68%, and we have a barometer reading at 29.87 and rising, but we'll start to see a few more clouds come in the next few hours, and by early tomorrow morning, by tomorrow morning, we're going to find some rain in here. Finally getting some rain chances coming our direction, which it's been a while, and what we get is not going to be all that much. So even though rain chance is good, what we get out of this is not going to be all that good. Temperatures right now still really warm in the 70s for this time of the night, 69 here in Bowling Green, but around us we have a lot of low 70s that are still showing up even at this hour. Now the rainfall, it is going to start to come in. Now this model, in-house model, is showing that we'll start to see some showers by about this time. You see the time stamp up there at 10:17, but obviously that's not happening yet. I still think it's going to be a while before the atmosphere becomes more saturated enough so we can start seeing those raindrops. But once they begin, they're going to be very light out ahead of the front, but there's more rain back behind the front. Once we get into tomorrow morning, there's going to be a period where we see some raindrops, probably really light raindrops early in the morning. Then we're going to see this taper off for a while as we get into the late morning and midday hours. It is the second part of the system that'll move in for Thursday night and Friday that will overspread the area from out of Tennessee into southern Kentucky. That'll be the better chance of getting rain tomorrow night and into Friday. Then by Saturday, everything clears out and we're looking at some much better weather for Veterans Day. Revised numbers here for the rainfall potential for tomorrow and Friday. Really, they've come down a bit. We're looking at maybe 1/10 to 1/4 inch of rain at best for southern Kentucky, and maybe on the order of 1/4 inch to 3/10 down toward the Nashville area. That has been brought down simply because of the dryness of this particular system. So it's not going to produce even as much rain as we first thought. 60 for an overnight low tonight with increasing clouds. We're seeing that already. And then I put rain late, but really it's going to be more tomorrow morning. Wind shifting from the southwest to the northwest at 9 with the passage of the cold front. 40% chance of showers tomorrow, 68. That'll be cooler, but even cooler with a better chance of rain on Friday at 55. Veterans Day and, of course, homecoming on the hill looks good with a high of 60. Some drizzle on Sunday and then again on Wednesday, and highs will stay pretty much just below average for this time of the year in the upper 50s to low 60s. We're back with more News 40 at 10 in just a minute.
Do you have musty smells coming up from your crawl space? USS is here to help. Neglected crawl spaces and excessive moisture can cause mold, unwanted pests, wood rot, and high energy bills. A USS encapsulation system will help prevent these issues and improve the air quality in your crawl space, making the air in your home cleaner and healthier for you and your family. Visit uss-ky.com for a free estimate.
We'll guarantee our best. Call USS.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you've suffered a personal injury, I can help. Call our office today for a free consultation.
We keep this love in a photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, our hearts are never broken. Time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped.
It's time for Nat's annual Christmas Bikes for Kids.
You can help by donating a new or gently used bike
At Nat's Outdoor Sports. The bike shop at Nat's Outdoor Sports will make any needed repairs.
And the Bowling Green JCs will distribute bikes to underprivileged children throughout our community.
Nat's will be accepting new and used bikes until December 5th. Nat's Bikes for Kids, sponsored by WNKY News 40.
I'll hit Woohoo 107.
And these great sponsors.
I'm Simon Modesto. Join me for Emerging Leaders on News 40 at noon. Every Monday, we'll feature up-and-coming community leaders that are making a big impact on the future of South Central Kentucky.
Emerging Leaders, brought to you by Elpo Law.
Tonight, Governor Andy Beshear is fresh off his re-election victory after his win over challenger Daniel Cameron. Beshear speaking earlier today, saying his party can overcome America's deep divisions by improving the lives of the people who elect them. He says he is ready to get back to work, and that begins with education.
It is time to get more big things done for our families. That starts with the type of investments that we need in our system of public education. That begins with the educator raises that are absolutely critical for moving our state forward. The second piece is universal pre-K. It's time to make sure that no Kentucky child starts kindergarten behind, that we address learning loss before it ever even begins.
Many people believe Beshear's win last night gives a look at how voter sentiment will be as we head into next year's presidential election. And with yesterday's election behind us, election officials tell us voter turnout was relatively low. We spoke with Secretary of State Michael Adams to see what his thoughts on the election were and how the turnout was in Warren County.
Warren County is certainly a swing county. It's a county where they still split their tickets. They vote for some Democrats and some Republicans. And so it's a place, of course, people like me pay really close attention to. People that run for office know that people in Warren County are independent minded. It's a well-educated population.
Election officials are already preparing for the presidential election next November. Many are hoping for a bigger turnout. Tonight, Republican candidates are squaring off in the GOP's third debate, and it comes after what the party's own strategists say was a major defeat at the polls last night. There's one key issue that dominated, and that was abortion. Jerrica Duncan is on the ground in Ohio, where voters overwhelmingly approved a constitutional amendment protecting reproductive rights.
Abortion rights supporters are still celebrating after voters passed a state constitutional amendment enshrining a woman's right to an abortion in Ohio, setting up a key issue ahead of the 2024 presidential election.
The voters said, look, the government should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
We have always known that this was a national campaign because what happens in Ohio was going to immediately become the flashpoint for way people were talking about issues in other states.
In Kentucky, where Republicans control the state legislature, incumbent Democratic Governor Andy Beshear defeated Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
Well, that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to.
Cameron said he would amend the state's total abortion ban if elected to allow for exceptions in cases of rape or incest, but, quote, only if the court made us change the law. In Virginia, Democrats who campaigned on abortion rights took control of the state legislature there. Today, the state's Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, spoke on the issue.
This is a very difficult topic across Virginia and across the nation.
Over 20 states either ban or restrict abortion access. But since 2022, abortion rights supporters have prevailed in 7 out of 7 states where the issue has been on the ballot, including in Ohio last night.
I think our country is just getting harder and more selfish, and the unborn child is the one that's paying the price.
National Right to Life President Carol Tobias says they will continue to fight.
There are 11 states right now, as you know, that are considering abortion on the ballot next year. What is your strategy?
We have to find different and better ways to reach out and get people to understand that killing the unborn child is not going to solve problems.
Jerrica Duncan, CBS News, Columbus, Ohio.
Well, stay with us. News 40's Patrick Carey is in with a look at sports right after this.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher. Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Call us at Hughes & Coleman for a free consultation. If your loved one suffered a serious injury or untimely death while in a nursing home, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600. Standing up for your loved ones is what matters now.
Mackenzie's is ready to welcome fall with our large selection of mums, pumpkins, and more. Let Mackenzie's help you make your home a little more cozy this fall season. Mackenzie's Flowers, 935 Lovers Lane in Bowling Green.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book?
Covenant Books is an author-friendly publisher who shares your passion and beliefs. Call us today and we'll send you a free author packet to help get you started. We provide a full range of publishing services.
Covenant sells your book and ebook online and in bookstores everywhere. Our authors love us. Just look.
Be like these authors and get your book published today.
To get your free writer's guide, call now.
1-855-900-3971.
It's scary amounts of fun.
Is this movie Psycho?
Person, place, or thing on WNKY NBC 40.
It's time, y'all.
Come on!
It's a new season for my new home in NYC. I feel good today. We're all new in New York. See what we did there? Clever. So good. I got it.
Weekdays at 3 on WNKY NBC 40.
Welcome into sports. Bowling Green High School held a big signing day this morning. Two golfers, Ben Davenport and Reed Ritchie, are heading to D1 programs in Kentucky. Davenport travels to Louisville to join the Bellarmine Knights, while Ritchie will stay in Bowling Green, becoming a Hilltopper. Davenport isn't the only Purple Hill bound. Maggie Morris will be joining Jason Nidell on the soccer team, while her teammate Reese Lowry travels to the University of Illinois Springfield. Congratulations to everyone who signed this morning. Well, staying with the signing day, South Warren's Drew Hudson put pen to paper tonight, making his collegiate volleyball career official with Ohio State University. Drew is the son of WKU volleyball head coach Travis Hudson and has spent his life around the sport. Drew has had a dominant club career, even winning a boys junior national championship in Las Vegas a few years ago. The Ohio State commit also plays basketball for South Warren as well. Here were his thoughts after making the commitment to Ohio State official.
I've been super excited. This day's been circled on the calendar for a long time, so I'm really excited that it's official now and I'm officially a Buckeye. Volleyball, like you said, it's been a part of my life, since the beginning, and to be able to write my own story with it and kind of carve my own path and find my own success, and it's been really cool.
Well, to the Hill now as the WKU volleyball team is set to close out the regular season in Murfreesboro against MTSU tomorrow night. Tops have secured the #1 seed in the conference tournament, but MTSU has had a stellar season as well. For head coach Travis Hudson, he knows the conference is elite this year and is continuing to find ways for his squad to get better.
There's a lot of teams that could win this thing, and that's why we work so hard to build RPI, right? Is to put ourselves in a position where the advantage we might have over the field when we get to the conference tournament is, the comfort in knowing that we're probably an NCAA tournament team regardless. And so let's go relax and be a good version of ourselves.
Well, staying on the Hill, the WKU men's basketball team is in Kansas for a road matchup with Wichita State tomorrow night. The Tops are coming off a season-opening win over Kentucky Wesleyan earlier this week. Here's what transfer Brandon Newman had to say about the team's transition to the Steve Lutz era here in Bowling Green.
You make a transition. There's obviously going to be some adjustments, but, I think, this program and, the city and the school, they welcome all of us. We have a bunch of guys that's come from different places, and, we spent a lot of time together over the past couple months, and, it's been making the transition, enjoyable.
The WKU football team is gearing up for a Conference USA showdown with New Mexico State this weekend. The Tops are coming off a hard-fought win over UTEP this past weekend. WKU currently has 3 games left with a chance to still make the conference championship. Here's what head coach Tyson Helton had to say about the homecoming matchup this weekend.
Should be an exciting game. Both teams have a lot to compete for and try to, be able to control your own destiny. So that's pretty cool, and then we get to have homecoming, and so expecting a big crowd out there, and should be a great game. So looking forward to it.
That's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
Geez. Hey, Trent, what's going on? You've been here for 7 hours.
I'm having problems with the sun. This ain't right. I'm coming back tomorrow.
I should have called JB. Trent, gee.
Should have called JB Electric. At JB Electric, when it comes to electricity, we don't mess around. Make the right call. Call JB Electric.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas is my favorite time.
Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
Everything about a big truck crash is serious. At Hughes & Coleman, we give these cases the urgent attention they demand. As soon as you call us, our truck response team can jump into action, gathering evidence, talking to witnesses, getting police reports, and reconstructing the accident in order to build a powerful legal case for you. We're your on-the-scene big truck team. So if you've been injured, call the real truck lawyers at Hughes & Coleman. Truck wreck? Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Enjoy a great lunch with a different food truck every week and help support our local charities.
Join us for Food Truck Fridays at the Tidballs parking lot on Chestnut Street. Part of your lunch purchase will be donated to a local nonprofit by Flora Templeton Stewart and our food trucks.
Food Truck Friday has collected over $10,000, making a difference in our community.
Brought to you by the law firm of Flora Templeton Stewart.
You never know who you're helping by sharing your story.
Don't let nobody hold you down.
Teachers make all the difference in the world. And black people think y'all look alike.
You can be our son.
I love Jennifer.
Ladies, let's go.
WNKY NBC 40.
Welcome back. Well, Chris, I think a lot of people are excited about a cool down tomorrow.
I know we are.
Yes.
Around here, it's like,
Melting.
hey, can we get some air going or something around here? It's like, it's just way too warm for November. Today, after the record-breaking high, we're going to cool things off starting tomorrow with a high of only 68 with a few showers in the area. Better chance of rain coming tomorrow night and then into Friday. Lovely. As temperatures will fall into the 50s. Yeah, football frenzy. Yeah, I think we might be done with the rain before we get the games in. So that would be good. And then Saturday, big day for Veterans Day and homecoming on the Hill. It'll be around 60. So really not bad after today.
Absolutely not a bad weekend. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you at home. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Dogs Day Out is South Central Kentucky's 5-paw rated dog resort. Whether for the day or a whole vacation, Dogs Day Out will keep your pets safe and loved. Dogs Day Out offers boarding, daycare, agility courses, positive reinforcement training, grooming, and more. With multiple packages to choose from, pamper your pup any way you see fit. Find out more at dgoky.com. Your dog's home away from home. Dogs Day Out.
As the son of a sailor, I went out on the sea for adventure. Expanding.
Oh, hello, sea chum. What's the latest news? Really? She's dating Travis Kelce. I think this is the one. So what else have I missed? The WGA strike is over. But how did they deal with the AI issue? Oh, I see. Artificial intelligence can be used, but it can't be credited as a writer or be a source of literary material. That makes sense. Why did that take 5 months? So, when does the show start again?